Amen. Thank you, musicians and platform workers. Jesus is alive, and since Jesus is alive, that means the power of the resurrection can work in your life. He has the power to remove sickness, to remove pain in body, because He rose from the grave. And so I want to minister here this evening out of Leviticus chapter 14. We'll be reading from there. A woman in Colombia, I was there a couple of months ago. I prayed with her, and she came up and she said she had pain in her body. And she said the pain that she was dealing with, it felt like needles all over her body were pressing in. And she said the pain was unbearable. It made her uncomfortable. Even as I put my hands on her to pray for her, you could feel the tension as she began to feel that pain, as it began to bring discomfort. But we believed God, and the pain went away. The next day, she came and told my wife, not only did the pain not return, but she said because she was embarrassed, she had an issue of blood in her body that was causing her to bleed consistently or constantly that she was dealing with. She said when she got home, it stopped. It was no longer there. It was gone. That's because it was a miracle of God. In other words, she was dealing with things that were bigger than skin deep, but she encountered a miracle. We have a picture of her. If you can put that up, you can see she's happy. There's a smile. There's joy because what God is capable of doing. That right there is the mark of healing. And so I want to minister the mark of healing out of Leviticus chapter 14. Follow along with me in verse 1. It said, the Lord said to Moses, these are the teachings for the time at which people who had a harmful skin disease are made clean. The person shall be brought to the priest, and the priest must go outside the camp and look at the one who had the skin disease. If the skin disease is healed, the priest will command the 2 living clean birds, a piece of cedar wood, a piece of red string, and a hyssop plant be brought for cleansing the person with a skin disease. The priest must order 1 bird to be killed in a clay bowl containing fresh water. Then he will take the living bird, the piece of cedar wood, the red string, and the hyssop. All these he will dip in the blood of the bird that was killed over the fresh water. The priest will sprinkle the blood 7 times on the person being cleansed from the skin disease. And he must announce that the person is clean, and then go into the open field and let the living bird free. Again, the mark of healing. Let's first begin then at sickness in the life. Because our text, what it does, it deals with sickness in the body. It deals with a skin disease. The most prevalent and debilitating at the time would have been leprosy. Leprosy was a disease that would have caused skin lesions. If you've ever seen it in pictures or see someone who suffered from it, it is not as common as it was back then as it is today. Though I would say, I read a news article that Florida actually leads the charge in most leprosy cases. That's not to freak you out. That's just to tell you, Florida is crazy. But they have skin lesions. They had growths. It would be a numbness of the body. It was paralysis of the hands and feet. It would cut off the circulation to that area, the nerves. And so what it's saying is that leprosy, it had the ability to work against something that was visible on the outside. You could see it. It was there. You knew what they were dealing with. And so leprosy is actually a spiritual picture of sin, because like leprosy, sin is vile. It is contaminating. It is unclean. It starts out as a growth and it festers until it takes the whole person. It works against you in your life. But that is happening in someone on the inside. What is taking place? The mistake that you and I make is that life is simply physical. But the Bible tells us, you and I, we're spiritual. We're spiritual beings. And so what happens in the spiritual affects the physical. Again, sin is spiritual and it operates against the body. That is not to say that every sin you've committed